There's never ever going to be a video like this one you're going to see now. That absolutely abolishes the doctrine from Satan himself that Yahusha and Yahuah are two separate identities. The absolute fascinating insight to derive from this video, though, is this. Yahuah calls himself the Aleph and the Tau, the first and the last. Now check this. The two Hazun chapters that will abolish the two separate identities doctrine is Hazun 1, the Aleph, or first chapter, and Hazun 22, the Tau, or last chapter. It's kind of prophetic, isn't it? It's amazing how Yahuah operates and reveals his desire for the truth. And I think you will all find this absolutely incredible. The scriptures we will use today are from the Truth Scriptures, an English translation of Hebrew and Aramaic texts. You will find not 1 ounce of Greek or Latin corruption at all. Now, let's read Hazun chapter 1 verse 11 through 14, and Hazun chapter 1 verse 17 through 18 from the Truth Scriptures. The voice said, "I am the Aleph and the Tau, the first and the last." Then I turned to see who was speaking to me, and when I turned around I saw 7 oil lamps burning on top of 7 gold lampstands. In the middle of the lampstands I saw someone who looked like the son of Adam. He wore a robe that stretched down to his feet, and he had a gold sash around his chest. When I saw him, I fell at his feet like a dead man. But he put his right hand on me and said, "Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I was dead, but look now, I am alive forever and always. I hold the keys of death and the tomb." So in this chapter, Hazun 1, Yahuhanan heard a voice say it was the Aleph and the Tau, a title always associated with Yahuah. It also says he's seen someone who looked like the son of Adam, which is a title used for Yahusha, and that he fell at his feet as a dead man. In other words, to worship him. Now let's read Hazun 22, verse 8 through 9 from the Truth Scriptures and see what that has to say. "And I, Yahuhanan, am the one who heard and saw these things. When I heard and saw these things, I fell down to worship at the feet of the messenger who showed me these things. However, the messenger said to me, 'Do not do that. I am a fellow servant with you, your brothers and sisters, the prophets, and everyone who keeps the words of this book. Worship Yahuah only.'" So in this chapter, Hazun 22, Yahuhanan fell down at the feet of the messenger to give him worship. But the messenger stopped Yahuhanan and said, "Do not do that, and to worship Yahuah only." So what's the divine connection here between Hazun 1, the Aleph, and Hazun 22, the Tau? It's amazing, actually. In Hazun 22, the messenger stopped Yahuhanan from worshipping him and says only to worship Yahuah. But in Hazun 1, when Yahuhanan fell down to worship the face in the 7 lampstands, which he said looked like the son of Adam, who we know is Yahusha, the face in the lampstands did not stop him, but rather said, "I am the Aleph and the Tau." So what's the connection here? Well, in Hazun 22, the messenger said to Yahuhanan to only worship Yahuah. But in Hazun 1, Yahusha, the face in the lampstands did not stop Yahuhanan from worshipping him, which tells us very clearly that Yahusha is Yahuah, because if he did not stop him from worshipping him. And the messenger from Hazun 22 says, only worship Yahuah. Then the son of Adam is proclaiming himself as Yahuah, otherwise he would have stopped Yahuhanan just like the messenger did, as worship is only ever reserved for the Creator, Yahuah Alua. Do you see this amazing revelation? And how can anyone ever again say that Yahusha is not Yahuah and they are separate? I mean, this here is just mind-blowing. And if you're not convinced after this, then you probably have the spirit of the anti-Mashiach, and you will never come to truth ever. Hallelujah. Yahuah. Shalom and barak you all.